Namaskar. Hello and welcome to P Guru's channel. I'm your host Sri Iyer. Joining me today is General Ravi Shankar and General Rajiv Narayanan. General Dushyant couldn't make it today, but we will continue. The three good generals, collective wisdom prevails, and we're going to have a cracker of a session today. Let's welcome our guests, General Ravi Shankar, General Rajiv Narayanan. Namaskar and welcome to P Guru's channel. How are you, sir?
Thanks a lot.
Namaskaram, sir. Thank you. Nice to be on your show. Back again.
General Rajiv, you disappointed us, not me, but our viewers by not coming for the last 2 weeks. So we're going to ask you a lot of tough questions today. We're going to start with you as a matter of fact. So, the operation that India hasn't accepted happened, but the pain is being felt a lot as a matter of fact. There is a message here for China and Pakistan. I'm wondering if there is a message for Bangladesh also. General Rajiv Narayanan, you've been in these areas, you know this thing like the back of your hand. Let's start with this one operation, and then I'll defer to General Ravi Shankar, who has also been in the Northeast. First you, sir, and then over to Ravi Shankar. Sir.
Okay. So, firstly, let me clarify one thing. This is the one thing which has come out in the open domain because of the press release given by the Ulfa-I.
Yes. And the fake one by ISI.
This is the third such operation.
Wow.
And it all begins with China threatening you that they will create problems for you in Northeast. This is the precise messaging to them that you may think that you control them. We know exactly everything, where they are, what are they doing at every minute to minute. And when China was not still getting the message, was the precise strike to take out the, imagine the self-styled Lieutenant General is number 2 to Paresh Barua. You didn't hit Paresh Barua, you know the exact place where he lives in Ruili, which is just across Muse. Muse is the Burmese side, Myanmarese side. Ruili is inside Yunnan, Burma-Yunnan border. You know exactly where it is. You know exactly where these, all these anti-India terrorist groups have their offices in Ruili. This is a messaging to China, very strong, that I have minute-to-minute control over these things, so don't think you can use them. Of course, Pakistan would be scared because their ISI people had come to Cox's Bazar, brigadiers, and they were trying to fool people that they are AMC brigadiers. What is an AMC brigadier got to do to come to Bangladesh of all the places and Cox's Bazar? And that tells you their mentality, that they think that they know everything. The bigger messaging is to the US. The US has been wanting to have their boots there in Cox's Bazar, which is next to the Rakhine area, and they talk of the humanitarian corridor. General Shankar has also spoken about it a number of times. Essence is the rare earth that is available in North Myanmar. And this is the messaging to China also, because while you hit Sagaing, about 10, 15, 20 kilometers across the border, the Shan and the Kachin states also have a lot of minerals, which is where they were illegally mining, and the people are coming out against them. So that puts China in a bit of a back foot out here. Pakistan, though, has no stakes there, but it is a messaging also to the US that you want, just look at this, we are there. So if you think you can come there and try your old hand, which they were trying of a Christian state and other things, think again. You want to be there, be friendly with me, we'll help you. So it's a multiple message. And we should be grateful that Ulfa was forced to give that press release because of, I'm told, over 100 plus have died in those 3 camps that you hit. They're around Taga, close by. NSCNK has been the facilitator for Ulfa-I and Ulfa. They have been the facilitator for them. And of course, it is that free Naga area that you're talking of where you're hit. So I'm sure the Three Brothers Alliance was also taken into, they had come to Delhi some time ago. quite a while ago. They must have been briefed on that. And they would have been on board because they are the ones who generally control today North Myanmar, not the military junta. They don't have that control there. So this messaging is a profound messaging that with one hit, Bangladesh is also on tenterhooks because they actually don't know which way to go. US is pressing them. China was hoping that their investment doesn't go down the drain. They are suddenly quiet. You had exercises earlier near Jalpaiguri, and Bangladesh is worried today because the last time you did an exercise near Jalpaiguri, you did Op Sindoor. So just a couple of days ago, you have done a major exercise on the Western Front. So now he'll be, pardon my language, literally shitting bricks. That is it my turn? After what happened in Gopalganj, is it my turn? What will happen? So you suddenly find that Yunus has become a bit quiet. He doesn't know what to do. And we'll talk, of course, of China-Pak. What is it? Confusion. Kya ho raha hai? But this, I'll say this much. Yes, these were the people you hit.
Yes, yes. So that's why I wanted to just put the context of the affected groups that were hit. General Ravi Shankar, your starting statements are, and before that, this is coming live on 3 different channels, Ganashot, Claus, and P Gurus. And I request all of you to be wherever you are to like this video. There is a lot of vitriol, like General Ravi Shankar says, being poured. The frustration is finding its way in many ways, but we need to look and plow on. One simple way to find out new videos coming in all these 3 channels is go to YouTube. Think of YouTube like a newspaper. And then what do you do in newspaper? You might like sports, you might like politics, you go to that section, right? Same way, search on Ganashot, search on P Gurus, search on Claus, and you will get the latest videos. You don't need to be notified that the new video is up there. You know there is something. General Ravi Shankar is being very prolific lately. He's been putting out 1 or 2 videos a day. General Ravi Shankar, you are busy, man. You have a full-time job. I don't know where you're finding time to do these things, sir. My pranam to you. And General Rajiv Narayanan, you are like 7-8 videos a week. My God, you two are like shining beacons of what you can do with your life. Thank you so much. General Ravi Shankar, your initial comments on this.
On what? You want me to talk on Myanmar and this thing, or we
no? It's up to you. You can talk about the entire. Yeah. No, if you wanted to add something to what General Rajiv Narayan said, because
there's nothing to add. Like I'll reinforce what he said.
Yeah.
This message which we have given to China and USA is very tough. You told China, look, I can upset your entire apple cart in Myanmar. And mind you, all this is happening when that the Dalai Lama chapter is opened, reincarnation and all, and that's a long chapter. And already China is feeling the heat for that. So their whole border situation could get complicated. And when you do any action in Myanmar, remember the difference. What you do in Tibet doesn't affect mainland China well, straight. But what you do across the Myanmar border hits Yunnan. That's mainland China. That's not Tibet. It's not an extension. Okay. So when you open up a vulnerability there, China is very sensitive to it. And China is also vulnerable. That border town he spoke of, Ruili, which is on the other side of Myanmar across Shan state, is a den of criminality on which China doesn't have much control. Right. So, of course, this attack on this camp at Sagaing is far away. But in those places which are very poorly inhabited, distance has no value, and especially if you're putting UAVs across. And if you can disrupt their mineral trade, their rare earth illegal mining, and other things, they're in a spin. They're in a bad spin. And I think, like he said, USA has to be told, you want to do something, we are all for it, but let's do it together. Don't think you can go via Myanmar, You can go via Rakhine and do something in Shan, and you think you can do it through Bangladesh, and with some stupid ISI geeks, it will not happen. The ISI guys might sell you out to China, and that's something which they should understand. As far as Bangladesh is concerned, it is irrelevant. It's an irrelevant sideshow. We have to treat it as that and not give it too much, importance at all. Pakistan and that is also a sideshow. So Pakistan, Bangladesh are a little, they're nuisances. That's it. We have an opportunity in the Northeast to consolidate Northeast and play an important role. But that will require a switch. And part of that switch is you have to accept US presence out there. And you have to bargain with them. Stop all this nonsense of conversion and all that nonsense. And let's get going, as strategic partners. In any case, we're supposed to be strategic partners, and that's the discussion all about today. So this is what it is about that side. Now let's get to the main topic which we thought we should discuss: China-Pak collusion and our strategic partnership with USA. Look, the China-Pak collusion or that cooperation, call it what you want, is taking a new turn. We have to understand this. There are 2-3 things which we have to understand. China-Pak are no more colluding. It's gone. Today they are a ceaseless operational front for us. We have to understand that. And what has Sindoor taught us? That they will not cooperate, they will interoperate, and they will operationalize each other's capabilities. So that thing from cooperation to interoperation is something which we have to very clearly understand. One. Number two, they have a historic relationship. Right from the time, after all, Pakistan was one of the countries which first recognized the People's Republic of China. And their relationship goes a long way. One. Second, their relationship is elastic. Very elastic. Why? I'll tell you why. Because there's a lot of talk now that, look, will Pakistan have problems with now USA also coming there for minerals and Trump coming there and, with Bitcoins and things like that. And Pakistan going towards USA for arms, all that, at lunch, whatever. So getting closer to the West. Will it affect China's relationship? Please understand that the relationship between China and Pakistan has seen all this. After all, USA was stationed there. It had bases there. It still has interest there. China knows completely about it. Yet it has gone there. So even in this case, it will give a lot of slack to Pakistan. Right. So this collusion will take on new dimensions which we have to factor in. The way I look at it, there's going to be a huge jump in space collaboration hereafter. Nuclear cooperation is something which we have to look out for. Just not fighters, footers and all. So those are the areas in which the collaboration will expand into. As far as normal weapons and all that, which will, that will be an ongoing thing. But it's not going to be easy for Pakistan. Why it's not going to be easy for Pakistan is, despite all what one might say, that this relationship has also has got into a few new limitations. A lot of talk that Pakistan will get this J-35s and this and that and all that. But there's a backlash within China. People within China are asking, why should we give a J-35 to Pakistan when it has not entered our service? Why should we give it? Because he's not even paid for the J-10 so far. And, why should we give? So that is all off. All those things, fancy things that China will flood Pakistan with weapons and all that is far-fetched. The second thing which we need to understand, I won't say limitations, the weaknesses of this relationship. That's where we get the confidence. Till date, Rahim Yar Khan base has not been repaired. what they have lost, they have not made good. It's not easy to make good all these items. Procurement cycle for many of these will take 4 to 5 years. Their losses which they've suffered. Till now, most of their air bases just have toplins on the top where they've been hit. So Pakistan at this point of time is completely winged, and China can't help it. And another issue or limitation of this is, if China is in problems, if Pakistan is in problems, China will, help it. But at the same time, it will pull out before it can get hit. And that's a mistake they have done in Sindoor. Today, I read an article, and in fact, today morning my show was on this. In South China Morning Post, they have spoken of BrahMos and how India is getting orders X, Y, Z, and how it has proven itself in, battle. And this is very funny. 15 countries. I didn't know 15 countries were lining up outside India for getting hold of BrahMos and talks for BrahMos. This is reported by South China Morning Post. Why? Because this equipment has turned lethal and effective. And they're talking of Akash and all others also. So this scene is changing. And now realization is dawning on them that, look, you can bluff only that far. And the market for the Chinese equipment has gone down. That's the flip side of the story. Stories are coming out where people are lining up for Indian arms. No story is coming up for procurement of Chinese arms. And if they did come, the Chinese would have blown it up in terms of propaganda sky high. So that's not there. So while this relationship is changing, that's the point I'm trying to make. So the relationship will endure. It will take new dimensions, but it will change. There are limitations in this new relationship which is coming, and there are certain problems in this whole story. And this issue of nuclear cooperation and nuclear no first use, all that. If you see, Rabia Akhtar has come out with a longish article in Dawn today about our Agni 5 and what we are going to put that bunker buster on that Agni 5 and all that. They are panicking. To be very simple, if you read that whole story, they are panicking. And of course, on Ghana Shot down the week, I'll do a analysis of this. So the fact is that there are new dimensions to this whole story which we have to get hold of. Now, it is in this context, I'll spend a couple of minutes before I hand you back to you on the US-India strategic partnership. Where is this going? A lot will depend on this trade deal. If the trade deal comes through in some form, it gives Trump an opportunity to say, oh, I've done a trade deal with one of the big economies. If he doesn't, he's in doldrums. So whether the trade deal is a mini deal or a master deal or a small deal or a part deal, some deal will be there. If the deal comes through, then you get leverage to handle that. Right? What is my interest? Very clearly, we should be clear about that. We should somehow endeavor to get USA back on track for that strategic partnership and not behave the way they did during Pakistan. But having said that, to a large extent, I am okay with the fact that USA is involved with Pakistan, because then it puts some rigor on them, on Pakistan. Pakistan will think 10 times before it becomes a complete maverick. And also now it is very clear today or yesterday, the tweets are coming out where it is now confirmed that we've hit Kirana Hills. So you put the heebie-jeebies under them. That is why the new reaction on the nuclear front from Pakistan is actually bordering on, panic. Because now they know we can hit Kirana Hills. And if you have a bunker buster missile, even with a short range, it doesn't matter, and you blow up something in Kirana Hills, and I'm sure Kirana Hills is not like Fordo in Iran, Pakistan is in trouble. Okay, and so will USA be. So you acquired new dimensions. So can you use these new dimensions to talk Turkey with USA? I think it's time for us to say, put cards on the table and let them put cards on this table and say, look, you stop threatening us. Whether it's Trump or anyone. And say, if you are strategic partners, let's be strategic partners. That's one. The second aspect of this is we need to deal with this entire Trump administration on a longer term, not the short term. Short term perturbations you should be able to absorb. You should have the bandwidth to absorb the short term perturbations. You need to look at the long term issues, right? I think these are the what shall I say, the outlines of what is lying ahead. I'll rest my case at this point of time here.
Thank you so much, General Ravi Shankar. General Rajiv Narayanan, about the US, US India trade deal. Two things that are sticking out. One is India's reluctance to take any GMO seeds, genetically modified seeds. The other one is the dairy products, where it is believed that there is a fair amount of animal content, animal fat content, that would, hurt the sensibilities. Plus, India has a rich species of cows, as well as rich veins, rich breeds of grains, and it doesn't really need the GMO. Be that as it may, these are two things that US also is not willing to give up. It looks like, because I thought that somewhere they'll say, okay, we will kick this can down the road. We'll do the deal for the rest of it. In your opinion, what do you think is the sticking point? This is just my observation, sir. I could be horribly wrong.
Precisely. So that is the sticking point. Because the India has said, if you're going to do this, then we are going to charge all your digital platforms for all the advertisement that you're getting from here, which is the no-no for the US side. So as far as India is concerned, it has in no uncertain terms, they have said that if that is not on the table, this is not on the table. When you look at dairy, why should I take any dairy from him? I am the net exporter of dairy. I export to Europe. Amul has opened his plant outlet in Spain already.
No, it's States, USA.
In Spain, it has opened up. I am a net exporter of dairy. I don't need any dairy from you. As far as the GM is concerned, the worst thing about the GM are two things. A, the seed doesn't give a seed. You got to keep buying. So in perpetuity, you have to keep.
That is the big problem. Yes.
That is the number one. But the biggest problem are the health issues connected with it.
You'll become
very bad
obese.
for the health of the people. And that is a proven thing which is there in the US itself. So the only GM that India had permitted and has permitted completely is the BT cotton, which germinates its own seed. Not the one like Carlyle and Monsanto want us to buy from them today. And for the others, they're very limited from mustard and some corn, something limited thing they have given, not the whole lot. So this is out. That is, US says that is out. So in between, you have given them a mini deal. Now the ball is in the US court. They have given them, I think, about $200 billion trade deal. What will be worrying US more is that you have already done the deal with UK. Maybe in the next couple of months, you're going to sign it. And what you have mentioned is the European free trade deal is likely to be signed by the end of the year, before December. Now, that puts the heebie-jeebies on the US. Because if you have got those things available, you are now speaking from a position of greater strength. So, basically, my issue on all this trade deal and relationship is the US, the State Department, does not comprehend what partnership means. For these 70 years, they have been dictating terms. And as a partner, you need to compromise. Now, that is a term that they cannot grasp. The number two, maybe India a decade or two ago would have subsided to what they are wanting to some degree. But today, the strength and resilience that is there in you, that is coming out is greater than the EU, which the US is failing to comprehend. And the most important part, which General Shankar had also alluded to, that without a strategic partnership with India, you can never get a stable global order which is coming. There will be no stability to it. I will add to that. Yes, you were the sole superpower. All roads led to Washington, D.C. That period is over. So the project of the new American century has to redo its outlook and make out its strategy now for that. When you made the project of the new American century, it started as Pax Americana in 92, converted it in 96 to this. The whole conception was that all roads leads to Washington, how you can dictate in the 21st century. But 2 decades down the line, it's becoming very clear that you can't dictate. There are a number of places you can't dictate. There are limitations to your strength. And you need partners, not allies. Oh, fine. Trump is a blabbermouth. But especially what, like General Shankar mentioned, what he did post during Op Sindoor, hyphenating India with Pakistan. And that was what our EAM mentioned strongly in the Quad foreign ministers meeting in Washington, that you cannot equate victims and perpetrators of terrorism and treat them as equals, which was a message to Trump. So that is where you suddenly realize he's trying to dehyphenate. And I looked at that the State Department's attempt at rebuilding the relations is the TRF proscription, suddenly, that I'm going to proscribe TRF. Though Pakistan may jump, but Pakistan's biggest worry is China has quietly said yes.
Yes.
Right? And which worries him, because coming month, there is the FATF meeting. Pakistan is on the table. So, and then you are suddenly saying, okay, after inordinate delays, your GE engines and Army's Apaches you are sending. That leaves a question mark within India too. Are you dependable? And he's going to jump, literally, because for AMCA, your reports are coming that you're going down the saffron route.
Saffron route.
So where does that leave GE? And as it is, Lockheed Martin that would be having egg on its face. F-16, he himself has said 5 were shot down. And look at the F-35, which is still in Thiruvananthapuram. I think they're basically deciding whether it is, in our terminology, then Shankar will understand, whether it's class 5 or class 9.
It's BR.
Class 7 or class 5 is beyond economic repair. And CER, means it is totally you can do nothing. Class 5 means there are certain subsystems that you can cannibalize and you can improve it and use it anywhere. Class 7 means it's only going to be used for target practice. There's nothing left in it that can be used. Right. It is not a good advertisement for the US equipment. Now, see, the issue to be seen is, I look at it as a blow hot, blow cold. You do these things with Pakistan, okay, I put the TRF under proscription, I start releasing GE engines to you, but fire the gun from EU and NATO shoulders, wanting to sanction Nayara. Why did I say that you have better resilience and strength to stand up to US? I have never seen a bigger fool than the EU. Pardon my saying so. Gujarat refineries, especially Nayara in particular, Nayara Energy of Reliance, is the biggest supplier of diesel and aviation fuel to them.
They're spiting their own nose.
Yes, when they were sanctioning Russia. They had come after Saudi Arabia and OPEC to increase their allotment vis-a-vis the rest. They were shown 2 fingers and said, take a walk. Our reputation is at stake. There are contracts which have been given to various countries have signed contracts with us. I cannot rescind on that contract. You will get what you have planned for. You want more? It will come at a later date. Now today, how will you have beaten Saudi Arabia? Saudi Arabia is number 2. 4 lakh barrels per day is what goes. You're finished. Your economy is finished. How will your aircrafts fly? You will have shortage of aviation fuel. They haven't even thought. Big boss ne bol diya, maine kar diya. So, and then just imagine the aid to Ukraine, which is to go from US. It's not US giving directly to Ukraine. EU countries are going to buy it from US and give it to Ukraine. And here again, oil hit. Means that is the end of your economy. You haven't even thought of what is, they're not even thinking what is in their national interests. And like we had discussed earlier, India is not compromising on its interests in the trade deal. And his worry is going to be that you've done it with UK and you're planning to do it with EU. And yes, of course, India had, like we had said earlier, you send a message to them, you partner with us in the region. Without partnering with us, if you're trying to be with your enemies on both sides, then you need to have to think what you're going to do in this region. Because North Myanmar also, it is very clear slowly. I'm sure it will emerge to the State Department. It is emerging. Marco Rubio is understanding that the limits of US reach is not what it was in the 90s. It cannot do. So essentially, I would say I would be comfortable the day the NSS, when they issue their NSS, National Security Strategy, they use the word partners and not allies. It is when you do that, then you find that, yes, there is a change in the outlook. But if you keep using the term allies, which blindly even the EU countries and the Japanese also use allies, then it's different. Allies you like to dictate, partners, there are compromises for national interest and you move together. So I'll stop here.
Thank you so much, Rajiv, General Rajiv. Viewers, couple of things. One is about the details of sanctions by EU on Nayara. There is a separate video that I have put out. If it's not released yet, it will be releasing in the very near future. This is just the fact that we have to put, we have to space out our releases. It's already recorded. It will come out because I have all the data. I put it out. Thank you for clarifying that Nayara Energy gives the most amount of aviation kerosene to the European bloc. I mean, that's a big deal. You can't fly without that. That's a big deal. Sir, one thing is, in the previous term, that is the outgoing Biden administration term, Marco Rubio had actually put forth a proposal wherein the proposal said to treat India on par with Israel as far as the US is concerned. Whatever things that US does with Israel, that India should be given the same kind of treatment. Sir, you can use the word partner. I don't know what the special relationship between US and Israel is. This was actually Marco Rubio who did it, and he was just a senator then. He was not the Secretary of State. So somewhere, once he has become Secretary of State, either a lot of things are pulling in different directions, that this particular thing hasn't actually come out, because it's easy to pass this resolution now. There is a majority in Senate. There's a majority in the Congress also. So I'm urging Secretary of State Marco Rubio, please clarify whether you are still sticking to that stand. Are you going to move that proposal so that once and for all, there is a clear message that with whatever way US and Israel operate, it's going to be the same way India and US are going to operate. And that brings a lot of clarity to that area, especially the Hira Mandis and Panna Mandis. They'll know exactly what that means. We'll see how that goes. Thank you so much, sir. General Ravi Shankar, I have a question for you. Let's say that EU wants to make a deal. Do you think the sanctions on Nayara is also some sort of arm twisting? Just like the way US is saying that if you buy gas from Russia, we're going to put at least 100% tariffs, if not 500% tariff. One senator is putting out a proposal that he would like to charge 500%. So do you think it's also some sort of an arm wrestling attempt by EU?
Yeah, it's an arm wrestling attempt. Only thing is the arm they're twisting is their own, not ours. You should be very clear about that. Look, let me put it in a different context. I'll answer this in a different context. You see, now it's been agreed that EU will increase its defense expenditure to 5%, out of which 3.5% will be on direct defense and 1.5% on defense-related infrastructure and all that over a period of time. That's a lot of money. You need capacity to spend that money. It's not the matter of having money and being able to spend it. It's the matter of having, you want to realize capability out of it. They don't have that capability. Where will they go? They don't have. They don't have the capability to make guns. They don't have the capability to make ammunition. They have nothing. Neither does USA have. Where will they go? They'll go to China, or will they go to Pakistan? You remember, they had to arm twist Pakistan to give 155 mm shells to give it to Ukraine. So they don't have. They have to come to India. There's no other place in the world where they can go to. I mean, I'm stating this upfront. Many times I've said this. They don't have. Period. Okay, on one side you say you want to get into FTA with India, EU, Europe, all that, and people are saying Norway will be in by the FTA will be signed by September or so. I heard this in this thing. If that's what you're going to do, and EU wants to sanction India, then you're behaving like Trump and his cohorts. He's also saying, no, we'll have a great deal with India. But then some other fellow says, no, if you continue buying Russian oil, we'll give you 500% tariffs. Look, this tariff, I think, as far as India is concerned, the sell-by date has gone. That's the way I look at it. You have to come to deal with India, deal. Right. One major strength of ours, which I keep repeating. Why I repeat, it might be repetition for us, but every time I repeat it reinforces my belief in the strength of India, and which I should share with everyone. Germany, Japan, China, even Vietnam, even Vietnam and even Taiwan, these are all producing economies. They can't consume what they produce. They need a consumer. And that consumer is USA. So USA can twist all their tails and they'll listen. And you see, whatever USA has done, it has twisted China's tail, and China is in grief today, geoeconomically. So is Japan. Japan is not able to accept this deal at all. So there are problems there. It can't do it with India because India is a consuming economy. And if your manufacturing goes up a little, you will be on the ball. Why are we saying no to milk? Because you're the largest producer of milk in the world today. Operation Flood. Why should we take milk from USA when you can export milk? So this equation, I think, is getting lost by many people. And India's resilience is very high. That's one part. Let's look at it geoeconomically. Which are the big economies? China, India, Europe, USA. Russia is not a big economy, please. Okay. These are the four big economies. Europe as a whole is a big economy. If you split it in parts, it's not. Okay. Now, which are these economies which are doing well? Is China doing well? It's in deflation. Today I was reading about deflation in China. Deflation is set in. It will not go away in the next 5 years. Okay, and plus they have their own issues, trade, Europe can't go to China. If Europe goes into China, China will eat it up. They're like termites, they'll be eaten. USA's economy also is on the precipice. We know that. He is trying to revive, Trump is trying to revive China, the economy through tariffs, this, that, and all. A bit out of the box, he's trying something for his economy. And if he fights with the major economy, where does he go? Europe is in shambles. Absolute shambles. You see the German economy, the biggest engines of Europe are Germany and France. They are in shambles economically. Which is that economy which is big and thriving and has got market capacity? India. Look at the food security part of it. which is the only country which can, people can rely on for food security in the world today. India and USA. There's no other country. And I'm making it. You had Ukraine, which is the breadbasket of the world for a long time. You destroyed it. Okay. Russia is food surplus. Russia surplus of everything. That's it. These 3-4 countries, not China. China is a net importer. So India has resilience. And we must remember our own history. We were never dependent on USA for our growth. We were never dependent on any country for our growth. Our growth has happened organically. Many people will not agree to it. In bits and parts. It's because of the people of this land. It's not from anywhere else. It's the people of this land who've gone out, earned, sent back money, kick-started a cycle, and all that is happening. Plus, the same America is investing here. You look at the investment. After all, the other day there was a news that Microsoft closed its office in Pakistan. Same day, in Dawn, on the same editorial, it says that Microsoft is investing 1 billion into India.
Yeah.
Why is Apple investing in India? Why are the same American behemoths investing in India, and they're not investing anywhere else? They want to shift away from China over a long term. Taiwan wants to buy arms from you. Things are changing. In this period of change, we have great strength. Many people might think otherwise, that look, India doesn't have strength. Look, there is also Forbes has come out with a video which says, no, India doesn't have any power. It's 15th or 16th in the world power, below bloody even Ghana and Nigeria type. So all this propaganda is going on. This is like the same propaganda which says, J10 put down 6 Rafales. So we have to see through this. We have to be steadfast in our approach to this whole story and do what we are supposed to do. And not right. Like rightly General Rajiv Narayanan said, we have to clarify to the US in no uncertain terms that, look, we are not your allies. We are your partners. As we might be a junior partner, I will accept that story. But we are partners. A partnership is all about give and take, compromise. The word he used was compromise. You have to compromise with each other. Don't expect obedience. We are not Pakistan. You want to hyphenate India and Pakistan? You do what you want with Pakistan. You buy bitcoins from there, you buy minerals with there, you go sleep with Asim Munir, get Asim Munir to become your waiter to serve you lunch, or you become Asim Munir's waiter and serve him lunch, is your headache. Don't make us party to it. This is something which Prime Minister has already told Mr. Trump when he was invited for that lunch after Canada. He said, sorry, I can't come, I have other business to attend to. So I think this realization will come. It's a matter of time. And my positive way, look, at the end of the day, India also needs partners. You need FDI. Where will you get FDI from? You can't get it from China. Russia, it can't give you. Europe can give you to some extent. Max FDI has to come from USA. So let's also be positive about it. This trade deal, if it's done in a sensible manner, will also give us an entry into US markets at the lowest tariffs. So we have to also, be sensitive about the US equation, because that's our hope also. We don't have, the Russia-India equation has reached its limit. You can't go more than that. You have scope with Europe, we'll get that. But we still need USA. So I think it's going to be a little, we'll keep discussing about this. But I think eventually between USA and India, we'll find our level. Similarly, we'll find our level with China. Look, when all this is going on, this RIC business has started. Whether it's correct, bad, good, ugly is a different story. There are many shades of grey in this RIC. Even China is coming. Why did China say, Pat, okay, the moment that TRF was proscribed by USA, China agreed to it. They also want to be in our good books. They also want to now say, no, we are not on the side of terror, or they want to teach Pakistan a lesson or whatever it is. So we are in a place where we can negotiate, where we have leverage. And you do these pinpricks in Myanmar, you use Dalai Lama. So many things are there. We're a big country. Don't allow him to invest here. All those things, you start doing and you have leeway. So I think we need to also, we need to have reinforce our own views and have to start thinking differently. That's what we keep mentioning. In fact, Rajiv and I have been talking like this. You need to be Atmanirbhar. You need to think differently. You need to think for the long term. You need to think beyond economics. Yeah, over to you.
Thank you so much, General Ravi Shankar. Sir, two things still remaining, and I'm hoping that I'll give one to each of you, and then we'll take questions from all of you. These are very interesting topics because so much has happened in the last 7 days. A colonel in the United States has said that today, the United States has ammunition for just 8 days. According to you, General Rajiv, you've been observing the amount of things going across. I thought they were just junking old stuff in Ukraine, at least when the thing started. But looks like slowly that old stuff went away and the new stuff and the newest stuff, all these things seem to have been used there. What is the truth in that statement, sir? It was a colonel who said that.
So he's talking about conventional war. US has not fought a conventional war for decades.
Yes.
That is how their capabilities have all gone down, which General Shankar was mentioning. Same is the case with EU. Europe, NATO and European Union, where have they fought a conventional war? They don't have capacities, period. And that is what General Shankar was also mentioning. You want capacity, I am there. Why do you think German Rheinmetall has signed this agreement with Anil Ambani and 1,000 acres of land at Ratnagiri for making the 155 ammunition? Half for you and half for them, 2 lakh ammunition capacity. It's for this. Why is Rolls-Royce coming to you? Why is Safran? It was very easy for Macron also to say, or Trump also to say, okay, I will revive. How do you revive? When the people who have to run that plant floor, they don't even have the skill to run that plant floor. It's not like a switch that, okay, today was an automotive plant and tomorrow I'll convert it into an aviation hub. It doesn't happen that way. They'll start making fighters. Your fighters will only run on the road and it will not fly. So that is a major issue that both these countries have. That if you're looking at something, and like I have said many times, it is not just Op Sindoor. There are two incidents which have flicked this complete switch for India. First was Galwan. You stood off Galwan and Yangtze, you stood off China by yourself. And 4 years down the line, he's blinked and run away. That he can't. And next was Op Sindoor. Proxies, while Rahul Singh may have said that you fought 3, I say 4. It's not just Pakistan with Chinese and Turkish equipment. There was American equipment also, which have been converted to scrap. Now, this has and using homegrown technology. Like Jal Shankar also says, I also repeat a number of times, I am not looking at the highest niche tech technology. Yes, I'm looking at a good high-tech technology that the soldier can absorb and give me victory. And that was what was shown in Op Sindoor. It is homegrown, it is good high-tech technology, absorbed by the soldier on ground, and he delivered. And how? Delivered and how? The world took notice. Right, sir? So, that is the kind of thing which has happened today, which is what makes you slightly stronger in your negotiation. But negotiation, you can never ever think that you are equal to, like I always say, you are rising, you have not risen. To underline what General Shankar was saying, that compromises have to be done. If I'm going to be looked at as a junior partner with US, So be it. He may not be a global power, but he is a very big power. While we may talk of China as the big elephant in the room, the big male elephant in the room is the US. You need how to negotiate with it for your betterment. And you need the FDI. The companies are ready to come to you. Everybody is ready to come to you. The day the mini deal is signed, the floodgates will open, is my understanding. The day the mini deal is signed, the floodgates will open. Otherwise, itself, just imagine, sir, the biggest hedge funds of India, of US, BlackRock and Vanguard have the biggest offices in India. They have shut shop in China. Why has he opened it here? They know that this is where things are going to evolve. They will benefit. And like General Shankar said, sir, 64, as on date today, statistics says our internal consumption is at 64.1% of GDP. It was 61% last year. It has grown despite all things not coming, but some things have come. I'll give you an anecdotal thing. 2 years ago, I'd gone to US. Before I went to US, I was very fond of Greg Norman t-shirts. Very nice, light,
yes,
breathe easy. They breathe very well. And in places like Chennai and all, you need things like that. It was costing all over 10,000 rupees here. I went there to TJ's, bought it for $50, and I was feeling very proud. $50, 4,000 something I bought it. I didn't have to spend so much. It was delivered to me yesterday. I bought it on Amazon. Now it shows you that Greg Norman has come to India. They have established their office in India. It doesn't need to go to US to get the stamp. The actual price of the t-shirt was 2,400 rupees. On a sale, I bought it for 700 rupees.
Wow.
Now look at that is how your sale is increasing. Internal consumption, he's come here because they realize that the internal consumption is the strength. Even if he is not able to sell outside, so the moment these companies come, I'm very sure that from 64%, it will go over 60. It will be anywhere between 65 to 70% of your GDP. Which company will not want to come here?
Yes.
The best profits they're going to get here. Even if there is some reduction in export outside, he's not worried. 60-70% of his product is sold in India. That is what you got to negotiate and get. So Trump may be there, but you got to talk to people behind.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Last question, General Ravi Shankar, and I'll come to General Rajiv after General Ravi Shankar. I was talking to a friend of mine who's neither beholden to China, nor to United States, nor to India, nor to the South Asian region, nowhere here. And this person is a fairly reputed journalist. And I asked him, look, you are looking at information coming. He lives in the United States, looking at the information coming from the Western press, and you probably have some, insights into what's coming from the Indian and other presses. What do you think happened in Sindoor? One line. And his answer also was one line. India took out Pakistan's Pentagon. Your thoughts, sir?
Yeah, there's no doubt. Where's the doubt? Today, like I told you, it not only didn't take out its Pentagon, it took out any guns which were there. Today that there's this chap called Damian Simon who's come out with a satellite picture which confirms a hit on that Kirana Hills. He's shown where our round has fallen, BrahMos, and where there's a sentry post out there. Look, please understand what I'm trying to say. Why did I talk about Rabia Akhtar and that article and all? See, I connect this photograph with that article and the fact that some news came out, I think about 5-6 days back, that India has also making its own bunker bursting warhead for Agni 5 with a shorter range but a heavier tonnage, which can go up to 300 meters. Oh, Kirana Hill also is like Fordo, no? End of story. They are worried. They're worried. I mean, you have to understand why they are worried. So, and if those nukes are under American watch, whatever you call them, then what happens? And today, I'm sure, or we know where these nukes are moving, if at all they have to move. Okay, they're worried. They're really worried. In fact, everyone is worried. Even the Chinese are worried. Yeah, we have to understand many things. People, okay, there's another way I look at it. This is our military power. Let me talk our ability to be a sponge. Go back 15, 20 years back. I still remember the first time I went into a McDonald's in Delhi. Long back. I couldn't afford more than the worst ice cream they had. I couldn't afford it with my pay. Okay. Today, he sells Mac Aloo, Mac Paratas. Every third-rate Indian buys McDonald's today. I mean, I'm not talking of it derogatorily. I'm talking the power which that chap has today. I was a class 1 gazetted officer. I was a full colonel. I mean, I'm not joking. I couldn't afford what was being sold in McDonald's, and I used to take my children and buy the cheapest ice cream there and say, oh, we went to McDonald's. But today, who's looking at McDonald's, Domino's, and all these things? Same thing will happen to all these dairy fairy which will come there. That I'm very confident of. Okay. End of the day, think India has its own dynamics. But coming to our military capability, I think we have crossed the Rubicon. We have our problems internally. I mean, let's not wish away. Let's not think that we are on top of North Pole or gone to moon or something. Our procurement cycles are very poor. Our procedures are poor. We keep changing procedures faster than we can implement them. So we don't understand the new procedure. I mean, we have not understood the old procedure and we don't understand the new procedure. So we don't procure anything. That's our problem. Right. And plus, we have our own hassles within. Whether it's the armed forces, the government, civil military cooperation and all that. That's why day after tomorrow, he and I are going to talk of civil military cooperation because that is required, civil military fusion. But for many people, we have got a lot of power. And considering the flux today, which is there in the world, I think we are on a pig's back at this point of time. Whether we'll get off the pig's back or get into a buffalo's back is a different story that we'll see as time goes. But I'm very sanguine that with a strong government like what we have and a set of people who are hardworking, and we don't have any internal problems. You see, that's the biggest thing. We don't have internal problems. We don't have a Trump or a Xi Jinping or a Asim Munir to, waylay us. If you see all these countries, whether it is USA or Pakistan or China, or for that matter, Russia, the problem is in their leadership. It is the leadership which has upset them. Okay. We don't have that problem. Hopefully, we shouldn't have that problem for quite some time. So I'm very confident that we'll do what we have to do.
Thank you so much, sir. General Rajiv, last word from you. Pakistan's Pentagon is gone. That was the statement he made. Your thoughts, sir?
Well, as far as Op Sindoor is concerned, I think just about 3-4 days after that, the Western analysts had made one statement. There is one new power in Asia and it is not China.
Yes. Khatam.
That was the statement. One new power in Asia and it's not China. And that was the bottom line. It is not just Kirana Hills. The Pentagon are various pieces which were there. Noor Khan, the base, the Nuclear Command and Control Center, which was supposed to take on a nuclear strike, made by the Americans, full latest American technology, reduced to rubble. So suddenly USA is also worried And when you say that you did it with BrahMos and thereafter are the other missiles, and now when you say that you're going to convert your Agni 5 into a bunker burster in the same like the GBU 57, no, the GBU 57 carries 6 tons of TNT. And this is going to be anywhere between 7 to 10 tons of TNT. That could penetrate about, I think, 200. This penetrates more than, you're saying it will penetrate more than 300. More than 300 meters. How deep are you going inside?
Sir, Earth's mantle will come, sir. At that depth, Earth's mantle will come.
It's not a matter of mantle or not. The fact is
that
that you
is the
can
worry
shake
they
them
have.
up.
That if you could do it with BrahMos and the other missiles and destroy this bunker, which is the latest technology of the Americans. That is the Pentagon he is alluding to. Of course, south of Satluj he had his ANTPQ latest radars and everything, which became blind. That was it. So that is the Rubicon that you have crossed, that with homegrown technology, now I don't need you. There are only certain niche areas where I need you in these technological things. What will worry them more? The latest statement which has come out from MOD, that by 2028, the complete military grid will be on quantum communication, including their satellite communication. No country has laid it out as yet. And by 2030, they are going to start rolling it out in the civil domain for all the networks that you have, important networks, fintech and all that you have, you're going to roll it out. Third, you're talking of, Trump is talking of cyber cryptocurrency with Pakistan. And apart from UPI and digitization, the US RBI is talking of linking rupee to a stable coin.
Yeah, that's the right way to do it. That's the right way to do it. Yes.
Yeah, linking rupee to the stable coin. Now, these are going to worry them. And you are doing yourself. You're doing yourself. So these are the major dynamic changes which come in. But yes, you need your FDI. There are certain technologies, you need niche technologies, cooperate with them. So when you do these things, these become the incentives for all those companies which are dealing with niche technologies to start working with you. That, hey, these people have the skill which the others don't have. So let's start working with them. It will benefit us. So that's what I have to say.
Thank you so much, sir. You gladdened my heart when you talked about RBI and stable coins. The reason is, about a week ago, I did a 5-part series on currency. I started from barter and came all the way up to stable coin. And I said that this is what US is heading towards. And yesterday, or I think on Friday, Trump signed into law the new thing called Genius Act that paves way for stable coins as being a legal tender in the United States with some kind of, there are some guardrails around it. And lo and behold, I think 2 days ago, I saw an article by the BJP spokesperson. Suddenly, Mr. Bhandari, a good friend of mine, is waxing eloquent. He's talking about Bitcoins and he's also talking about stable coins. So I was trying to figure out, is it that he got inspired by what I said? More likely, he got inspired by what you just mentioned, that RBI is looking at stable coins very seriously. So that gladdens my heart that India is basically lock in step with some of the newer developments.
Yes, that is your linking now the rupee, because otherwise rupee used to be with gold. It's now going to be very difficult for you to get that kind of gold for rupee, even if it is in a digital form, that kind of gold to be able to equal to that. So what is the best way? Link the rupee to the stable coin.
Yeah.
Then it's up to you for mining it and producing it and getting your blockchains in place, and you have your stable coin linked.
Yep. Thank you so much, sir. Now, if you don't mind, shall we take some questions? We've already taken an hour and 4 minutes. I'm hoping that you have time. 10 questions only. Hopefully, we'll quit.
No problem.
Yeah. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
Just to add, they've also laid out the equation also for the rupee to the stable coin. 1
Oh,
rupee,
wow.
10 rupee, 50 rupee, 100 rupee. It's a work in progress, but they have given out the equation.
Wonderful,
What I was
wonderful,
reading.
wonderful. Yes, yes. Thank you so much, sir. Let's take some questions now, please. Arni Patak, thank you so much for becoming, is it Ame Patak, I think. Thank you so much, Sanjay. Thank you so much, Sanjay, for your super sticker. Next one, please. Kev War, thank you so much for becoming YouTube member. Thank you, NM. Sir, Costco is selling it for $9. Stablecoin? It can't be stablecoin. It has to be one of the
T-shirts.
Oh, t-shirts.
So now, I'm talking 2 years ago, it was $50. I paid $50 for that in TJ's.
Next,
At that time, it was not there. There was a Costco also. We went there. I couldn't find it. The one which I like for my size. Because when you go to Costco or TJ's, you have to be lucky to get your size in the color or something that you want.
Right. If the color is right, the size is not. Shritik Kothari wants to know, General Rahul said that Pak DGMO knew which vector of ours was armed and ready and asked to not launch it. Obviously got info from PRC. Had it been war with PRC, he would have hit us. How to fight in an era of 24/7 ISR? I will start with General Ravi Shankar.
Look, all these things will keep happening. You just keep fighting. That's the end of story. And you should know how to fool them. In actual combat, we'll know how to fool them. And a satellite can't keep seeing everything. The satellite will focus on certain areas. And those focus areas will be important vectors. That's what has happened in this case. They can't see everything, so don't worry too much about it. Beyond a point, it's not your baby. It's the baby of the military people. They'll do it. They know how to do it. Beyond that, I'll not talk.
General Rajiv, Sam Keating wants to know, I have no doubt that 20 years from now, history will repeat itself and US will again be adversarial to us like in 71 and prior. Should we develop capacity keeping an eye on that as well?
Sam Keating, sir, the latest is the Indian Air Force is looking at a bomber with a range of 12,000 kilometers. I'd written long back our integrated military strategy 2040 and had started looking at a prompt regional response and other capabilities, that it's time to go beyond threat and look at what capabilities you need. And when you look at capability development in that manner, it also looks at what you need to sort the neighbors out. So when you have created that kind of capability, and it's a welcome change, 12,000 kilometer range, you're now making your ICBMs and all going to 10,000, 12,000 kilometers range. See, Lord Palmerston had said one thing which stands true even today. He may have said it in the 19th century. There are no permanent friends and permanent enemies. What is permanent is your national interest. So you work towards your national interest. I don't know whether 20 years down the line, the US will continue to be my partner or will he try to become adversarial. What kind of picture will be there 20 years down the line? If we are able to manage all these things and control our internal security, you will become a much stronger nation at the 100th year of your independence. Will US still look that I need to partner or I need to curb? That if I partner with him, I will continue to have strength in the 21st century, or will I try to do this? So there are many ifs and buts. 20 years down the line, how do I know what the world will look like?
US had some real challenges. One noticed their army parade recently, and one chuckled.
That I think was more of an insult to Trump. Because I've seen their victory parades and all when they do it for the Second World War victory parade, when they all do. It's not like that.
Very good.
They're very good. This, I think, was more as a slap on face on Trump when he wanted to enforce it.
Yeah.
More like his birthday parade.
So what I was trying to say was 25 years ago, I was in DC and I had gone to the monument standing behind me, the Washington Memorial. And it was completely, in that wooden scaffolding, and they were trying to make some enhancements. Today, I'm not even sure US will be able to get the labor to go and do any enhancements to this. It's that bad in terms of what US can afford to do to keep up things. It's in a really bad situation right now. US may not be as bad as perhaps Western Europe, but even here, the younger generation just don't want to have children. This is the reality we are facing here. Let's go to the next question. I just wanted to say that US has some serious limitations in terms of demographic, shortfall, and bringing in people who don't know the stuff, like for example from Latin American countries, is not going to cut it. Ashish Hegde wants to know, so this is for you, General Ravishankar. Sir, would it be correct to say China is only with Pakistan when it comes to engaging India on the borders, but it's a group in US which supports internal instability in India?
I don't think so. I don't think you can put it so cut and dry. There is a group in US which doesn't like India. Let's be very clear. And we should be alive to that situation. Equally, there's a group in US which wants India. I mean, I'll connect it to the previous question. Who knows, 20 years from now, there might be a American president of Indian origin. Then what happens? Yeah, so things are, fluid. But this Pak-China connect is going to be deep. It's not going to run away. That's not going to run away. Like, that's why I said in the beginning, this link is very historic and it is elastic. It won't break. It's elastic. Okay, and I don't think India has the capacity to break it. Why India doesn't have the capacity? It's not a matter of military capacity. It's a matter of cultural capacity. It's a matter of your outlook capacity. It's a national character. So we have issues here. We need to be very clear that India might or might not be friends or enemies with USA. That is a different story. It can go anywhere. But we will never be friends with China and Pakistan. We should be clear about that. And that is a hard reality with which you have to live.
So I will just add one thing. Ashish ji, please Google 36 stratagems. That is China's philosophy. China has never got away from the fact and will never get away from the fact that they have to rule the world. And that 36 stratagem is going to, one of the strategies is, that's my books. Thank you. One of the strategies is killing with a borrowed knife. Okay.
So viewers, do get this book by Major General Rajiv Narayanan, The Dragon's Bite. It's a masterpiece about China.
Thank you, sir. And that is the killing with the borrowed knife. At present, the borrowed knife is Pakistan. He's trying his hand, but not getting successful in Bangladesh. This is the borrowed knife. Okay. And so please remember, it's no longer collusion. It is integrated. It's an integrated challenge for you.
So this book talks about that Pakistan-China nexus, Operation Basmasur. It's available now. Paperback is available. The good generals have had a chance to look at it. And so this is my appreciation for having known you two and many others in the armed services for so many years. Thank you so much. This was mostly, inspiration drawn from this. So I actually, I owe it to you two and many others who have helped me formulate my thoughts for this one. Viewers, you really need to look at this book, because the next big thing is going to be perhaps in the seas, which is what this book looks at. Thank you so much. And let's go to the next question. Wilburn Cherian wants to know, this is for you, Rajiv, General Rajiv. Even if we don't want GMO, have not the chemtrails already poisoned our soil?
Thankfully not. Thankfully not. Yeah, there are certain places some damage has been done, but not that much. So that is the reason why we don't want GMO. Main reason.
Next one, please. MV Sridhar wants to know, why sudden deployment of 20,000 CRPF in J&K? General Ravishankar.
Oh, that must be, they would have got some mint and they would have. It's only.
So I will just add, 5th August is the anniversary of abrogation of 370.
Abrogation of,
15th, 14th is Pakistan's independent formation day. 15th is our Independence Day.
August is a sensitive month.
Yeah. So if they are trying something, so it's a sensitive month, so it makes sense to have more boots on it.
Next one, please. General Rajiv, this is for you. Amitesh Behera wants to know, sir, with due respect, only this talks will not work. What guarantee another Pahalgam doesn't happen in future? I don't know which talks. I think he's talking about US, India, I think. Sir.
Can he afford another Pahalgam, Pakistan? There is nothing left in his kitty at the moment. His cupboard is bare. We have only spoken about, a lot of attention has been given to what the air did. People don't even know that the length and breadth of the LAC and the international border in Pakistan, most of his bunkers and command posts and ammunition dumps have been destroyed. How does he make it? Where is the money? Like General Shankar had alluded in the talk that Rahimyar Khan has not been done. None has been done. He's taken out an international tender for repairing his 21 air bases. That he can get only if IMF comes. IMF has stalled his tranche. He has no money. It's not just he has no money. It indicates when he has thrown out an international tender that he doesn't have the expertise within the country.
Yeah.
Who can do it? So it's not just cementing the runway. So many facilities have got damaged, which he's got to make. So can he afford it? That is my question. And
thank you, sir.
August and September. August is FATF talk going on, and September the decision will be taken. He does anything, he might go not grey list, he might go into blacklist.
General Ravi Shankar, would you like to add to that?
No, right. Pakistan has very little choices. Even China has very little choices at this point of time. In fact, I'll go the other way around. You say you have a window of a clear 2 years. 2 years window. I'll put my neck out and say 2 years window. Nothing will happen.
Last question. This is directed at you, General Rajiv Narayanan. Good evening, sir. Russia is manufacturing Iran Shahed drones, which has been very effective for Iran. My question is, can the same drone be effective for India?
We are making our own drones. Why should I go to?
Why do you need Shahed drones from
Russia
Iran?
had was not into these drones, and suddenly he needed them when it happened in Ukraine. Chinese had given them some which was useless. He found these effective and he's making them. I have my own. Why should I go down that road?
Thank you so much, sir. One of the most interesting, intriguing sessions today, and I hope and pray that all three will be back next Sunday, same time. Viewers, like I said, please go treat YouTube like a newspaper and go look for your favorite channel. I'm not saying you have to look only at P Guru's Ganashot or Claus, but whatever it is, this is a new way you need to train yourself. YouTube has perhaps some of the best content, and you'll have your likes and dislikes. Follow your thing. Just treat it like a newspaper. Thank you once again, gentlemen. Namaskar.
Namaskar.